Welcome into White House Field here on a beautiful Saturday night in June. Warmest day we've had here at White House Field. My name is Devin Dolek. I am joined by Tim Foley here in Al Graber Press Box. A huge win the Mariners are coming off of. A 4-2 win at the hands of undefeated Cotuit out in Barnstable. It was a huge win for the team and a big morale booster as they had previously lost 5 of the last 6. Tim, how did they build on that momentum here?
Well, you want to make sure the bats stay alive. Past 2 games, you have a combined 19 hits. That's been stellar compared to the clip that the team's been hitting at to all the games prior in the season, and so make sure the bats stay alive. You know Santucci's going to give you everything he's got out there on the mound. It's going to be his final day as a Mariner here, and so you want to try to send him off the right way because you know that you're going to get a good start from him out there on the mound, so the bats need to show up here today.
Mariners are going to be taking on the Orleans Firebirds. We've already seen them match up once. That was a 6-3 win out at Eldridge Park for the Orleans Firebirds. Travis Honeyman and Bennett Lee homered in that game, and they look to do so again. That was also Ryan McCarty's first home run in the Cape Cod Baseball League, so definitely some power on both sides. We saw 3 home runs in the last matchup. We'll see what we're in for here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a warm day on Old Cape Cod here, so the balls are going to be flying off the bats everywhere throughout the ballpark all game long.
And now, without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. First, for the visiting Orleans Firebirds, leading off is the center fielder Travis Honeyman. Batting second, the second baseman Nate Furman. Batting third, the left fielder Luke Keischel. Batting cleanup, the first baseman Kevin Sim. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Jack Bulger. Batting sixth, the catcher, Bennett Lee. Batting seventh, right fielder Isaac Humphrey. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Logan Beard. And rounding out the top 9 is the shortstop, Nick McCleary. Jonathan Santucci on the mound, as we mentioned. Travis Honeyman in the leadoff spot. Last time in the 6-3 win, he actually homered out of the leadoff spot to start the game in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been doing some unbelievable stuff here for Orleans to open up this season. He's got 3 home runs, that's second in the league, 26 total bases, that's first, 7 extra base hits, again, first in the Cape Cod Baseball League, 4 doubles, that's tied for second. Just unbelievable. He's a big reason as to why Orleans is one of the top teams slugging-wise across the league right now.
Count is 1-1 from Santucci. Orleans sits in second place in the East Division. They have 11 points. Mariners have 10. They are tied for third. As that one on the inside corner for a strike, it's 1-2 to Honeyman.
Yeah, that's the thing about the standings right now. It's not like the West where you have a 7-point gap between first and second. You're just a game back of the top spot in the division. And while, yes, it's still early, holding on to the top doesn't mean a whole lot at this point. It's still nice to make sure you're keeping pace with everybody in the division.
1-2 misses outside, and count is evened up. Mariners in their home cream uniforms with red caps and blue lids, blue socks showing for those who'd like to. And the Firebirds in their black cutoffs with red sleeves, white pants, and red socks. As the 2-2 is cut on and missed, Honeyman goes down swinging. Might have got a piece of it, but held onto by Levens, and there's one away.
Yep, not surprised to see Jonathan Santucci off and running early here. Really nice pitch to be able to put him away, and already here 1 down.
And Honeyman, a guy who reached base 4 times in the last meeting. He was hit by a pitch, drew an intentional walk. He had another hit, and then the home run. So a pesky out. So to get him out to start things here is huge. Climbing in is Nate Furman for the Firebirds. He's batting second tonight out of the left-hand spot. And first pitch to him is right down the middle from Santucci at 91 miles an hour for a strike. Tonight's umpires, Frank Auditor at third base, Larry Garcia at first, and Mike Hinojosa behind the plate. 0-1. Catches the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, nice start so far to the season for Nate Furman, as he's been batting .333 right now for Orleans.
Santucci a long look in. And the pitch. This one is lifted out into right field down the line, but it's going to creep foul. Saito can't get there, so we'll stay at 0-2. Mariners defense tonight looks like this. Gino Groover in left, Cole Harding in center, and Tommy Seidel in right. And then third to first in the infield, Kenny Lavari, Nick Goodwin, David Smith making his debut for the Mariners at second, and Jake Geloff at first, with Tatum Levens doing the catching for Santucci. Oh, and 2 to Furman, the second baseman. And he swings and misses at that one. Back-to-back strikeouts to start things here for Santucci. 81 on that off-speed pitch, and there's 2 away.
Yep, exactly. 81 pulled the string on it, got him to get out way ahead of it. Really nice pitch to get ahead in this inning now with 2 outs. And Devin, you broke down the defense a moment ago. It will be interesting to see how this defense lines up here. Of course, you have David Smith, who's slotting over at second for the first time here for the Mariners, coming off of a very solid game defensively, Harwich as a whole, as Luke Keishel, the next batter, takes a first pitch called strike, in which they had no errors against Cotuit. A very solid defensive game.
Yeah, it was huge. Harwich, when they're committing errors, they're 2-5. So not a great record. This one is lifted high and deep out to center field, but it hangs up long enough for Harding, and he puts it away for out number 3. A very quick and efficient 1-2-3 for Jonathan Santucci. 11 pitches. We head to the home half of the first. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back, Devin Dobeck, Tim Foley. Firebirds go down quietly, 1-2-3 in the top half. And now let's meet Steve Englert's Harwich Mariners for today. Leading off is going to be the second baseman in his debut, David Smith of UConn. Batting second, the right fielder, Tommy Seidel. Batting third, the shortstop, Nick Goodwin. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, Brock Wilkin. Batting fifth, the catcher, Tatum Levens. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Kenny Lavari. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Jake Geloff. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Gino Groover the third. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Cole Harding.
Thank you and enjoy the contest.
And for the Firebirds, it'll be Cole Stallings doing the pitching. He comes in with a record of 0-1, a 5.40 ERA. That's good for fourth worst on the team. This will be his third start and third appearance. He's thrown 5 complete innings, punched out 5 and walked 5 while allowing 7 hits. So definitely not one of the stronger starters for the Firebirds, but they're going to milk every last ounce of baseball out of him that they can.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what version of Stallings we get here today. And so I feel like this could be a moment where we're going to know pretty early whether or not Stallings is going to be dialed in. So we'll see just what kind of damage this top of the Mariners lineup can do here. This is the first game all season in which Nick Goodwin has not been the leadoff guy. Still in the lineup, of course, in the 3-hole, but David Smith gets the nod in his very first game here on the Cape.
And he lines this one into left field, but it's caught by the shortstop, Nick McCleary. A great job there to put that one away, and there's quickly 1 away. First pitch he saw, Tim, trying to make an impact, but it's just a line out, unfortunately.
Well, you like that he's being aggressive, and you like that he was able to push it opposite field, but at the same time, unfortunate that it was just right at McCleary. Wasn't the hardest hit ball going the other way. Sort of just hung up there, a lazy liner right to McCleary, so easy catch for him to make over at short, and it's now up to Seidel, who's been able to extend his on-base streak to now 9 games, all 9 games he's appeared in, who's up to bat.
First pitch to Tommy, he drops down a perfect bunt, And that is going to be an infield single. Tommy Seidel, just like that, taking a page out of Katuitz's book, and they get one on now with one out. A beautiful bunt.
Tommy Seidel just broke out the putter to lay that one down the third base line. That was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the way he was able to just bring the bat down at an angle and really guide it along that third base line, just a phenomenal bunt. Everybody just stood there staring over at it because they knew that by the time any of them reached it, the Beard, the pitcher Stallings, or Bennett Lee behind home, none of them had a chance of making a play.
Yeah, they were just praying that there was going to be a huge gust of wind that blew it foul, but it never came. The ball actually curved more into the infield, so some crazy spin on it. As Nick Goodwin, now the batter, he watches ball one.
And so make that now 10 games straight in which Tommy Seidel's been able to get on base safely, in which he's appeared. Very impressive stuff from him.
Heads up baseball. He also leads the ball club with 4 steals, so a speed threat, which why it's not really a surprise he dropped one down there and then legged it out. 2 balls and no strikes to Goodwin. Nick Goodwin coming off a 2-for-5 day in which he had an RBI. And they'll take a look over at Seidel. He's back in safely. Brock Wilkin due up on deck. And they'll have Stallings step off there as Seidel maybe tried to get a quick jump, but he retreats back to the bag and no harm, no foul. And the pitch misses up high. It's 3-0.
You mentioned how Seidel's such a speed threat, so important they're able to get him on first, and I really like the move from Coach Engler to be able to put Seidel in the top of this order. He's a guy who knows how to get on base, and so it's setting you up for some early success. Harwich, they've only scored in the first inning once this season, and so trying to do a better job of capitalizing and producing runs earlier in the ball game, and I think that putting Seidel up in the 2-hole and having Goodwin come right after him is going to do that for you.
3-0 is in there to make it 3-1, and Tim, to kind of go off your point there, they've only scored the first run in the ball game twice in 11 contests, so they'd really like to find ways to get on the board first and not play from behind. One of those came last night against Katuitt. 3-1. Goodwin lifts this one high and deep out to left center field. Honeyman and Keishel closing in. Honeyman makes the catch, and that'll be out number 2.
The only other time Harwich scored in the first inning, the last time they were the team to strike first, or the only other time they were the team to strike first, was that second game of the season against Chatham back over at Veterans Field on the 13th of June.
Brock Wilkin will climb in. He's got a runner on with 2 away. Yesterday, Brock went 1 for 3. He also walked and scored a run. He was driven in on the Joe Vitrano 2-run blast to right center field. New count, and it's going to be 1-0 to Brock Wilkin. Brock hitting .250 on the season. After his slow start, he started to pick up about a hit a game and remained in that heart of the order between 3 and 5. As the 1-0 just misses, must have been a little inside, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, crosses past 5, still hitting right around that mid-200s mark, 235. But he does have his only 2 RBI and his only home run of the season across his past 5 plates. So he has been ramping it up a bit more here these past few games.
Stallings to his set, and the delivery. It misses up high, 3-0.
Yeah, and Stallings really having some control issues. We saw Goodwin get ahead in the count 3-0. Of course, then he flew out to center, but now Wilkin here ahead in the count 3-0.
Stallings will take a look over at Seidel, and quickly here we'll take a look at the Orleans defense. It'll be Keishel, Honeyman, and Humphrey in the outfield, and then left to right in the infield, Beard, McCleary, Furman, and Sim, with Lee doing the catching for Stallings. 3-0 offering. That one is in there for a strike. And it's 3-1. Nice night in Harwich. It's gonna dip down to the about 70-degree mark, hovering in the high 70s right now, but once that shade comes over the ball field, it really cools off. They'll take another look over at first, but Seidel back in there safely. Three balls and a strike to the defending Cape Cod Baseball League MVP. And there goes Seidel. The throw down is going to get him by a whole lot, but the umpire now indicating that he's safe. Not sure what happened, and I think a fan just helped me out because they said they also have no idea how he's safe.
Now batting for your Harwich Mariners, the catcher from
Oh, it was ball 4 to
number
Brock.
2, Tatum.
Fair
Ball 4
enough.
to Brock Wilkin, so he's awarded the base, although he was thrown out.
Yeah, luckily enough that ball ended up missing because otherwise the inning would be over right now.
That makes a lot more sense. Now Tatum Levens will climb in with 2 out and 2 on. Mariners stranded just a half dozen in the win last night, so they were much more efficient. They had some great situational hitting. We saw that with 2 outs. And first pitch to Levens is in there for a strike. Levens did not play. Matt Gassetti got the start. And then before that, it was Kyle Teal. So first appearance in 3 games for Levens. And we've only seen him batting in the 2 spot. So now he gets bumped down to 5. We'll see if he can bring a bat to the heart of the order.
It was the last time against Orleans we last saw him.
As the 0-1 misses downstairs, 1-1. And Wilkin now has drawn 2 walks. He has 2 of the 3 walks in the last, I believe, 3 games. Mariners have only walked 3 times in the last 3 games, and he has 2 of them. 1-1. Breaking ball just misses. Must have come in a little high, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Harwich, they've really been putting bats on balls all season long. They have the lowest walk rate of any team in the Cape League at 30. That's the fewest walks that any lineup's drawn so far through the quarter mark of the season.
As the 2-1 misses up and away, and it's 3-1. Stallings really struggling here.
Yeah, and again, another count in which he's thrown 3 balls to a batter. I think this is now the 3rd straight we've seen.
And you said we were going to see if he was going to bring it early, Tim, and I think how he's able to fight through the rest of this inning will be the telltale sign as he works it full on the foul by Tatum Levens. Kenny Lavari is on deck, should he get the opportunity. Stallings taking his time. He looks down at the dirt, lowers his glove, and delivers. Levens lifts this one right over to Honeyman in center field. He barely has to move, and he puts it away for out number 3. So the Mariners, they strand 2 on 1 hit and a walk. They don't get any runs, but we'll take a break and head to the 2nd inning here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. 4-5-6 due up for the Firebirds. Jonathan Santucci set down the first three in order on the back of 2 strikeouts. Kevin Sim, the cleanup hitter, will start things. He had an abysmal 0-for game against Harwich back just a few days ago, and he breaks his bat there. It goes sailing down the third baseline. Levens has got something in his mask, maybe a piece of the bat. Not sure, but certainly we'll check on him.
Always scary when you see a bat splinter. Saw it happen in Major League Baseball about a week or so ago, where a batter had his bat broken, and then I believe it was Mike Trout actually who was standing in. He broke his bat, and the barrel of the bat ended up spinning back into the mask of the home plate umpire. So obviously not a very common circumstance there, with the bat being able to somehow slip through the mask, but there's a lot of splinters that come off of these wooden bats. You always want to be careful.
Please come pick it up at the concession stand. Thank you.
Levens appears to be okay, which is great news, and Sim will climb back in. Sim is hitting .235 on the season. He's got a pair of homers and a pair of RBI with those. As that one misses, it's 1-1. He also leads the league in not a great stat, but he's been caught stealing twice. As that 1-1 pitch misses outside, and now Santucci behind in the count 2-1. To his delivery and the pitch. Sim fouls this one back to the netting, and we'll even up the count at 2.
I think one of the keys here for Harwich and Santucci is going to be being successful against the leadoff batter. This is an Orleans team that does a very nice job from the leadoff spot, batting .289. And this is a Harwich team that,
as Sim gets punched out, that one in there for strike 3, dropped it right in there, and he knew it. He whipped his head back in frustration, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Santucci tonight.
So Santucci doing a great job listening to the keys of the game, obviously, but Harwich very similarly allowing right about a .290 clip to the leadoff batter. Orleans, they know how to get guys on early, and I guess the struggle for them has still been driving them around, but even still, you don't want to allow a team to get guys on, because at some time or another, they're going to break through, and so being successful against the leadoff spot is going to be huge here tonight for Harwich.
As the leadoff hitter was luckily put down in Sim, but Bulger lifts this one out to center field, but right at Harding. He takes a few steps in and records it for out number 2. 5 up, 5 down for Santucci.
Now batting for the Firebirds, the catcher from Tulane.
Yeah, Santucci doing a nice job right now here for Harwich. So far, 17 pitches across 5 outs. Very efficient clip.
Bennett Lee will come in to hit. The catcher is hitting .211 on the season. Does have the 1 home run. That was against the Mariners a few nights ago at Eldridge Park, as it's 1-0 to him. Santucci, a long look in, and here comes the 1-0. Misses upstairs, and it'll be 2-0 now. And here's the pitch. That one misses downstairs, says Hinojosa, and now it's 3-0. Santucci behind in the count. 91 on that pitch. Lee, a member of the Tulane squad, along with Chase Engelhard, Harwich Mariner, as count is 3-1. Native of Tampa, Florida. .3-1 pitch. That one misses in on the ankles, and it'll be a 5-pitch walk issued by Santucci with 2 outs.
Now batting for Orleans, the right fielder from Louisville, number 30, Isaac Humphrey.
Isaac Humphrey will step up to the plate. Isaac in right field tonight. He is the last life for the Firebirds in the 2nd. Santucci now in the set, and the first pitch. Right down the middle for a strike.
Yeah, unsurprising to see Santucci come right back. First pitch strike the very next batter after he let Lee get away with one on him.
Into his set, taking another look at the runner, and the 0-1 misses just off the plate, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, for Santucci, that's only his second walk of the season in what is his 10th inning of work.
1-1. Breaking ball snaps in there for a strike, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes now to Humphrey. Humphrey making his CCBL debut here. A Louisville Cardinal. And he lines this one into left field for a base hit. A nice piece of 2-strike hitting the other way as Groover gets it in. And there's now 2 on with 2 out.
From Louisville, number 32, Logan Beard.
Humphrey, 6'3", 205 from Calhoun, Kentucky, and he gets the job there and makes his presence known.
Has to be frustrating for Harwich and Santucci, so efficient up until Lee came up to bat. He was able to draw the walk, and then Humphrey coming up thereafter, finding plenty of good success. And so now Orleans in business here, 2 on. There are 2 away, but they've been rallying here.
Logan Beard, the hitter, and he cuts on that and misses for strike 1. Two on, 2 out. It's Lee at second, Humphrey at first, and the pitch to Beard. That one on the outside corner, and it's now quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Orleans, it'd be frustrating to let this opportunity slip away, only batting 130 when they have runners in scoring position with 2 away. So they've let plenty of opportunities like this slip by them before.
0-2 pitch. Just misses, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, just tried to nip the outside part of the plate, came in at about 85 miles an hour, couldn't find the plate, so he's going to have to load another one up.
Another guy making his CCBL debut here in 2022 is Logan Beard. Fellow Louisville Cardinal, as that one runs inside. Jack Bulger, also the designated hitter who already flew out tonight, making his debut. So 3 new faces in the Firebird lineup here tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santucci takes a check on Lee and delivers. Lifted out to Cole Harding. He once again barely has to move. Little high step there as he hauls it in. And the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit, and 2 are stranded. We take a quick break and come back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Financial is a proud national
Bottom
Leading
of
off
the
bottom
second
for
here
your
from
Harwich
White House
Mariners,
Field.
the third baseman from
Kenny
Old
Lavari,
Dominion.
Jake
Number
Geloff,
3,
and Gino
Kenny
Groover
Lavari.
due up for the Harwich Mariners. Not a bad first inning. They were able to record a hit, but stranded 2 in the same fashion that Orleans did back in their top half of the second. As first pitch to Lavari is up high for a ball.
Yeah, and I think Harwich let Stallings off the hook a little bit in that first inning. Had a lot of counts in which he was behind 3-0, 3-1, but a couple of big flyouts and only the one hit to show for it.
As now he's quickly down in the count. It's a hitter's count for Kenny Lavari at 2-0. The pitch misses on, or excuse me, it hits the inside corner at 68 miles an hour. So big speed difference there. It's 2-1. As now it's fouled back. 76 on that one. Stallings really not a flamethrower. Doesn't have a lot of velocity, but if he's hitting his spots, he can have a good day. Member of the Stetson squad, where he attends college. As 2-2 is lined right past the diving Furman into right field for a leadoff single. Kenny Lavari doing a nice job to get on there, and he gives a big fist bump to the dugout.
Virginia, number 23.
And
Jake
Lavari, another guy
Geloff.
similar to Seidel, who is able to extend what's been an impressive on-base streak to start this season. Now 8 games for Kenny Lavari. That's every single game that he has been able to appear in, similar to Seidel.
Jake Geloff will climb in. Jake coming off a forgettable performance. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout against Katuitt. As first pitch to him, breaking ball misses up top, and it's 1-0.
Devin, you talked about seeing new faces last half inning, and we're going to start seeing that a lot more in the coming days, in the coming week, really, where a lot of guys are now going to be shipping off to Team USA. We mentioned Kyle Teal's already gone. Jonathan Santucci's about to leave town after his appearance here today. Of course, Jake Geloff, another guy who's going to be headed off to Team USA sooner or later, and so we're starting to see some new faces come into town, some old faces as well, actually. Mariners fans from last year may remember Chris Newell and Press Kavanaugh, both of which have made their way into town. 2 big pieces for that Harwich team, which was able to make it to the East Division Championship Series for the 2nd season in a row.
Yeah, and it's great to have those returners back, get some more veterans in the dugout when you're losing guys like Brock. And ball and a strike to Geloff, and he foul tips that one into the mitt, and it's 1-2. 80 miles an hour on that pitch from Stallings, and Geloff swung for the fences. Just 1 hit thus far in his campaign with Harwich. He's 1 for 19. He'd like to leave his mark in the farewell tour, but he's rung up there by Hinojosa. Breaking ball in the outside corner. Down he goes for out number 1.
Now batting for your Harwich Mariners, the left fielder.
It's really just been a tough stretch for Jake Geloff here on the Cape.
Groover.
I mean, now 1 for 20 here in a Mariners uniform. Obviously not ideal in his time here with Harwich right before he heads off to Team USA.
Gino Groover will climb in for his first AB. He's down in the 8th spot. They'll take a check on Lavari, and he's back in safely. Groover, another guy who could leave the squad. No official confirmation, but not out of the realm of possibility. It's grounded to third. They go to second for 1, on to first. Around the horn they go. That's a 5-4-3 double play, and the Firebirds get out of it. So despite Kenny Lavari's leadoff single, the Mariners can't make anything of it. We head to the 3rd inning. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back into Al Graber press box. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Firebirds. Nick McCleary, the shortstop, will climb on into the batter's box for his first look at Santucci. And McCleary, another guy who's struggled here. This is his 6th game, and he's just 1 for 14 on the season. As he watches ball 1 go by, and he's up in the count. Santucci into his delivery, and he drops that one in for a strike to even it up. McCleary does lead the ball club, however, in sacrifices with 2. So he has been doing his job as the count is 2-1 to him. And that one will miss down at the feet, and it's 3-1.
Tough to make full use of that when you end up being the guy to lead off an inning, but a good at-bat so far here. He's been able to make a couple of takes, and Santucci's struggling to find the strike zone early in this inning.
As that pitch is cut on and fouled off to the right into the woods to even it, or excuse me, to load up the count at 3-2. Payoff pitch coming from Jonathan Santucci. And he misses way outside to issue his 2nd walk of the ball game. It's a leadoff one for Nick McCleary.
And that's just his 2nd walk of the season, McCleary. Across his couple of games played so far here for Orleans, really has just struggled to get on to begin with, but manages to get on here against Santucci.
Travis Honeyman will climb in. He already struck out today. Trying to move McCleary over. His 2nd time facing off against the Duke Blue Devil. Little ACC matchup here is Honeyman of Boston College, teammate of Joe Vitrano. Ball and no strikes. Santucci closing in on 40 pitches here through 2+ innings. And I'll take a look over at the runner. Back in safely is McCleary. McCleary, not a threat on the base paths necessarily. He has no bags swiped on the season, but doesn't mean he couldn't go now. He hasn't had too many opportunities, granted. And 1-0 pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? No, says Larry Garcia, and I don't know. That one looked like he went all the way around almost, so maybe the first base coach was in Garcia's way. There's a lot of activity over at first base. 4 bodies all in the same spot. Two up, and that one is cut on and missed, and it's 2-1. 81 on that off-speed pitch from Santucci. Honeyman, not the quickest to get back in the box. He takes his time. He's got a full routine, but hey, it's paid off. He's having a great summer. There goes the runner. McCleary Levens couldn't get it out of his glove, and it skips into center field. That will be a stolen base for McCleary. He had trouble on the transfer, and it ended up hurting them.
Yeah, even beyond the trouble with the transfer, it looked like Tatum Levens was hesitant for a moment, didn't think he'd even really have a chance down at the bag, decided to unleash it anyways, and it was closer than you might have thought it would be with how delayed it was for Levens to be able to even get the throw out, but ended up missing the bag pretty clear, and so plenty of things going the way of McCleary to be able to make it down to 2nd.
3 balls and a strike now. And the pitch, cut on and miss. That'll load it up full. Honeyman leading the league in slugging percentage at .765 and also OPS at 1.241. So he's really a threat against any pitcher out of the leadoff spot.
Yeah, you mentioned it, former MVP of the NECBL, and so clearly not fazed by making the step up to the Cape League here. He's just been dominating.
And he cuts on that one, a rare miss from him. Levens looks back the base runner, and Honeyman is put away. Score that one K2-3.
Now batting for the Firebirds, the second baseman from Charlotte.
And yeah,
number 6,
Honeyman,
Nate Furman.
back-to-back strikeouts for him in this ball game. That pitch in the dirt that he swung at, he must just have been eager. Santucci, credit to him, gets him to chase, and a big first out. Nate Furman will now step in for his second AB. He's already struck out back in the first inning. McCleary at second. Goodwin trying to keep him held on. First pitch is fouled off to the left over the seats, and it's 0-1. Santucci, a long look in. And here's the pitch. Fouls it off right back towards us, and he's quickly up 0-2.
Yeah, I haven't seen Santucci get ahead in the count like this in a while. We'll see what he decides to go to here to try to put him away and get this second out of the inning.
Shade starting to creep onto the infield here as that sun goes down.
Earlier start time than we're
Yes.
used to here at White House Field. 5:30 Eastern Standard Time compared to the usual 6:30.
First time we've actually had a game before 6:30 other than the doubleheader. 0-2, and Santucci has to step off as McCleary kind of playing games behind him.
And we'll have another doubleheader tomorrow. That'll be in Wareham. 4 o'clock first pitch.
Yeah, that'll be another full day of baseball, and we've rumbled about it all the time. We always are leaving the Cape on Sundays when everybody else is, as breaking ball misses just up high, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, talk about unfortunate timing. It's not like Bourne or Falmouth where maybe you can sneak around it one way or another. You actually have to cross the bridge. We're going to have to camp out on Route 6, something or other, to get some kind of head start on everybody because it's going to be a long one.
As that one misses upstairs. Maybe rent a boat, get kayaks. We have our options. We just got to, maybe we'll bill it to the Mariners. Say we didn't want to be late.
Well, I failed swimming lessons when I was about 7 years old, so maybe we don't swim.
Yeah, I actually took like 5 or 6 years. My teacher, Miss Mary Huff, actually has been tuning into a lot of the broadcasts, so if you're listening, shout out to you. As that one is chopped fouled, we'll do the 2-2 again. Santucci, the Leominster, Mass native, went to Phillips Academy.
And I know there's a lot of people in the Leominster area who have been paying real close attention to how he's been doing here on the Cape.
As 2-2 misses inside, and he loads it up. So Santucci has really gotten to work in some of these counts. Now up to 50 pitches after what seemed to be such a quick start for him.
Yeah, I believe he was at 18 pitches through, I think, 5 or so outs. It's been a struggle as of late.
Into his set, and another payoff pitch coming. And this one is ripped into center field. Harding coming in, and he'll put it away. McCleary has to retreat back to second, and there's 2 away.
That's the 4th flyout to center field that Orleans has hit
Now
here
batting for
today.
Firebirds,
In fact,
left
every
fielder
out
from
recorded that has
University
not
of
been a
San Francisco,
strikeout has been a
number
flyout
9,
to Cole
Kiesel.
Harding in center. They've just been, I suppose, timing it well in that they're hitting it dead center, dead on. Got to work to find some more of those gaps, though, if you are Orleans. Just hammering it right back up the middle.
And that's not to say that the Mariners haven't a few times gone out to center field. They're kind of just trading punches.
Yeah, twice so far Harwich has.
McCleary doing some serious dancing over at second. Gets a huge secondary there and has to sprint back as Levins thought about a back pick down there. It's 1-0 now to Luke Keishel. Coming into today, he's a .282 hitter. He's already flied out to Cole Harding in center. And 1-0 misses up and away, and it's now 2-0. Keishel batting third in the order for the Firebirds. He is second on the ball club in home runs with 2 behind Travis Honeyman, of course. He's also tied for the league in strikeouts, though, with 12. And he cuts on that one and misses, and it's 2-1. Kevin Sim on deck should Keishel find a way to extend this inning. McCleary was walked on, then stole second, and that's where he stands now with 2 outs. 2-1. Off-speed pitch misses outside, and it's now 3-1.
And Keishel, a guy too who's a returner for these Firebirds as well, was here back in 2021. Had a great season last year actually with Orleans. Batted .321 across 20 games.
As this one's lifted into shallow right field. Coming in is Seidel, a sliding grab in foul territory. Tommy Seidel with a big-time defensive play. Back-to-back games he's made a difference with the glove out there in right. That will end the inning. We'll take a quick break and go to the home half of the third. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Your Harwich Mariners, the center fielder from Cincinnati, number 10, Cole Harding.
Welcome back. Devin Dobeck, Tim Foley bringing you the action here from White House Field as Mariners are due up 9-1-2. Call to the bullpen here. The day is over for Cole Stallings. He goes just 2 innings. We'll give you the rest of his line shortly, but the new pitcher is going to be Tommy Humphrey. He's 6'1", 205 pounds from Bakersfield, California. He goes to Fresno State, and he delivers ball 1 to Harding. He's got a 2.70 ERA across 3 games. This is his 4th appearance, and he's thrown 6 2/3 and struck out 7 in that time.
Yeah, two-way guy for these Firebirds, but somebody who has not done all too well at the plate. 0 for 4. Does have 3 walks, but 3 strikeouts as well.
And 1-1 pitch is grounded over to second, fielded by Furman. He'll go on Kevin Sim at first base for out number 1. And Tim, to talk about it, you said he's a two-way player. Obviously pitching tonight, he has batted in the past. As if that's not versatile enough, he's a switch hitter. So a guy who is a man of many talents. And now trying to keep the Firebirds in this game, which still is without a run. But a short outing for Stallings will really put the Firebird bullpen to the test.
It really will, but to go back to your point about being a jack of all trades, I've always wondered how that's really helped a pitcher whenever they can switch hit, to understand the game from the hitting perspective as well, especially not just hitting, but switch hitting.
Yeah, that is a good point. Definitely food for thought there. Having both sides of it. I mean, we know, of course, Shohei does it at the big league level as the 0-1 runs inside, and it's 1-1 now to David Smith. He's back in there for his second AB. Lined out to the shortstop, Nick McCleary, back in the first. And that one inside again, 2-1. Smith, a Yukon Husky, so kind of relatively local to the area. And he chops this one over to Sim at first. He'll glove it and take it himself to the bag for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down now for the new pitcher in Humphrey.
Now batting for your Harwich Mariners, the right fielder from Alabama, number 34, Tommy Seidel.
Tommy Seidel really putting together a following here. He gets a nice ovation as he goes up to the plate. He's already singled here, but was stranded at second.
Seidel, of course, the Wellesley, Massachusetts native. Not too far a trip all the way down. You take Route 9, probably about to 95 south, turns into 93. Take that to Route 3, turns into Route 6. Once you cross the Sagamore Bridge. And then you make your way all the way to White House Field. So I'm sure people excited to see Tommy play here tonight. Billy not pitching, but
as Seidel rips this one out to deep left field, but there is Luke Keishel right in front of the warning track, and he puts it away for out number 3. So a very quiet bottom half of the third for the Mariners. Will go to the middle 3. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the fourth inning, it'll be 4, 5, 6 due up for the Firebirds. And for the 4, 5, and 6 innings, I'll hand play-by-play duties over to the chief cartographer of the crew, Tim Foley. Tim.
Thanks so much, Devin, as we bring you the 4, 5, 6 hitters here for the Firebirds in this fourth inning of action. It's going to be Kevin Sim, Jack Bulger, and Bennett Lee. As the first pitch is hit by Sim over to the left side. Lavari picks it up, spins, throws onto Geloff, and is able to retire the base runner in Sim. Quickly one away on one pitch in the top of the fourth.
Beautiful play by Kenny Lavari there. He snares it over to his left, throws in a little spin to set his feet, and then just bang right over to first base to Jake Geloff. And there's quickly one away on one pitch. Not bad for Santucci.
And so now Jack Bulger coming up to bat, the designated hitter here today for Orleans, flew out to center field in his last at-bat. That was back in the second inning. The first pitch to him nowhere near the strike zone, just a bit outside. It's now 1-0. Santucci back out there. It's his fourth inning of work, quickly getting one out, and he needed that after a laborious third and second innings for him. Able to get that first pitch out, very huge. Comes back on the 1-0 pitch with a called strike, and the count evens out here to Bulger at 1-1. The next pitch sails in at 80 miles an hour and again misses high and outside as the count now is 2-1 to the batter in Bulger. A soft breeze blowing out toward left field. Here's the 2-1. That'll skip in the dirt. I believe that actually went behind the batter in Jack Bulger. Did not step out of the way of it. Avoided contact as Tatum Levens was able to pick it out of the dirt. And the count here 3-1. Saw this happen a bit last inning. Santucci falling behind in the count big. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's going to miss up high, and that's going to be a 5-pitch walk. That's the third walk of the evening for Jonathan Santucci, a man who coming into today had only allowed one walk across 8 innings pitched. It's been an interesting day control-wise here for Santucci.
And Coach Engler going to take a visit out to the mound. There is action with Jaden Woods in the Mariner bullpen.
And it looks like they are going to go to Woods. So, after 3 1/3 innings, the day is done for Jonathan Santucci. We'll take a break for the pitching change. We'll be back on the other side to introduce Jaden Woods and recap the day for Santucci. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you. So as mentioned, the day is over for Jonathan Santucci. His line looks like this. Pitched 3 1/3 innings. Did not allow a hit across his 3 1/3. He is responsible for the man on first right now in Jack Bulger, as he walked 3 and struck out 4. The man up to bat now is Bennett Lee, the catcher for Orleans. The new pitcher on the mound is going to be Jaden Woods, who delivers a first pitch ball at 90 miles an hour. Woods, so far on the season, when you look at what he's been able to do, ERA of 5.40 across his 3 1/3 innings pitched. He's struck out 4, has not walked anybody, and he has allowed 3 hits. This ball's going to be chopped foul. It's 1-1.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at a fastball, slider, and change from the Georgia product. His last outing was not his best, as he was credited with the loss. That was a tough one, unfortunately, at the hands of these same Firebirds. So a bit of a revenge game for him here. Let's see what he makes of it.
As it's a 1-1 count here to the batter in Lee. Lee did get on with a walk in his last plate appearance. Woods stares in and delivers. 87 miles an hour. That's going to miss outside, and the count now is 2-1. Harwich yesterday was able to get a really dominant pitching performance across their first 6 innings. But so far here, Santucci, he was able to give you the 3 1/3, and it was a bit rough. Did not allow a run, but he was really working in a lot of these at-bats. As the 2-1 pitch misses, it's now 3-1, or I should say Orleans was making him work as opposed to putting in the work and being able to sit guys down with relative ease. A 3-1 count still here to the catcher in Bennett Lee.
And Woods has not walked a batter yet. This is his 3rd appearance. Let's see.
As the 3-1 pitch comes in, does not walk a batter yet, at least for another pitch. As it's now run full here, 91 miles an hour. Woods was able to find the strike zone. Lee watching all the way. See what Woods decides to go to here of his arsenal to try to sit down the batter in Lee. Stares over at first base, looks at home. Runner goes for second. This ball's going to be hit on a line over the head of Goodwin at short. And making his way down to third now is Bulger. A bobble out in center field, and that's going to allow the runner in Bennett Lee to scurry all the way into second base safely. It was a bit of a mix-up. There's going to be errors on the play. We'll break it all down for you in a moment, but all you need to know right now is that Bennett Lee stands on second. Jack Bulger, who's the responsibility of Jonathan Santucci, now stands over on third, all with only 1 out.
And you know that does hurt, but if you're the Mariners, you have to be thankful about one thing, and that's that the Firebirds' third base coach absolutely missed this bobble by Gino Groover in left. Easily would have had a run walk home if he had sent him.
Ball hit on the ground left side, one hopper into the glove of Goodwin. Throw on to first is in time, but home to score is Jack Bulger. So now 2 away in the inning, but it is Orleans who strikes first. And now for the Mariners, for the 10th time this season, their opponent has scored before them.
For the Firebirds, the third baseman from
It's just the way it's gone, but they've had a relentless lineup. Still just 2 hits aside, and that's 21 over the last 3 games. And that's still a rolling tally, so Harwich, don't count them out yet.
As Logan Beard now steps into bat. Flew out to center field in his last at-bat. That was back to end the 2nd inning. This is that same stretch of batters that gave Jonathan Santucci fits back in the 2nd inning. The 4 through 8 batters, as this one's going to be swung on and foul tipped back into the glove of Tatum Levens. So it's an 0-2 count here. Bennett Lee managed to get on in both at-bats. Jack Bulger here in the 4th, and then it was Humphrey back in the 2nd. So this stretch of batters really has been a tough stretch to deal with. The 0-2 pitch misses as it's now 1-2 at 79 miles an hour.
And Woods wanted that. He started to walk towards the dugout, but he's called back upon. Hinojosa not giving it to him.
And that's going to be swung on and missed. That will end the inning. Jaden Woods is able to strike out the batter in Logan Beard, but a run does come across. Jack Bulger comes home to score, and it is credited to Jonathan Santucci. So his line now looks like this. 3 1/3 pitched, the 1 hit, as he did give up the 1 earned run, or the 1 run. Believe it was earned. Walked 3 and then struck out 4.
From paving and landscaping to recreational boating and facility management, Milton Cat has the right equipment.
So it was an earned run, so that is charged against Santucci. So that is where we leave you. We head now to the bottom of the 4th. Mariners down by 1. We'll see how they respond in a minute. You are listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you as the Harwich Mariners trail it 1-0 right now against the Orleans Firebirds. Nick Goodwin pops up the first pitch he sees. It's in foul territory, and it's brought in by Kevin Sim. So 1 pitch and 1 out, exceptionally similar to the beginning of the ball game where David Smith lined out to short on the very first pitch that he faced for the Mariners. So Harwich only 1 for 4 so far here tonight in the leadoff spot. Did have a single from Lavari back in the second. This brings up Brock Wilkin. Wilkin so far in the day did reach on a walk as the first pitch into him is going to be in for a called strike, and the count opens at 0-1. 89 miles an hour that pitch came across. Wilkin, he'll stand back in, taps home plate with the bat. Kicking and delivering. Tommy Humphrey back into the game for his second inning here. Came in back in the previous inning of play, back in the third inning. So this is his second full inning. So far, so good for him. He's seen 4 batters and he's retired each of them. As it's a 1-1 count here to the batter in Wilkin. Humphrey stares in. Kicks and delivers. And that's going to be in for a called strike, and the count now is 1-2 here to Brock Wilkin. The day for Stallings, don't believe we ever gave you a recap on his final line. 2 complete innings, gave up 2 hits, did not allow a run, walked 1 batter, and struck out 1. Brock Wilkin fouls off the 1-2 pitch, and the count remains at 1-2.
And if you're on Instagram, definitely go check out the Cape Cod's official account, Cape Cod Baseball League, that is, as Brock did a takeover on the story today. So go learn a little bit about a day in his life. Definitely worth taking a look at.
Yeah, and you also get to see a cameo by our public address announcer, Chris Cassidy, as the 1-2 pitch misses outside. It's a 2-2 count now. Brock had gotten into, I believe it was Beach Patrol, Cape Side Kitchens, picked up a burrito, checked out our public address announcer, Chris, and he got to make his Cape Cod Baseball League Instagram debut. Very big milestone for him here today. As the 2-2 pitch misses, and it's a 3-2 count now. Wilkin, we've talked about it. He's been batting much better across his past few games, it feels, than he has to start the season. It's a 3-2 count. Called strike 3. Down goes Wilkin. That is the first strikeout for Tommy Humphrey, and he is now retired all 5 he's faced.
Beautiful pitch there, right at the knees. No debate from Wilkin there. Tough one to take, especially with 2 on you. He pays the price for it. He walks back to the dugout.
So this brings up the catcher out of pit. Tatum Levens flew out to center field in his last at-bat to wrap up the first inning. Levens, he's been bouncing in and out of the lineup. Catching duties had been taken up by Kyle Teal, who has since departed, but now Matt Gassetti has also come into the fray, as this one's going to be hit on the ground. Right side picked up by Furman. Flip on to Sim at first, and that's the end of the inning. Not a busy inning for Tommy Humphrey. 2 of the 3 outs were on 1 pitch. We head now to the top of the 5th. Firebirds due up when we return. In the meantime, we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Stop from Arizona, number 36.
Welcome back inside the press box here at White House Field. Al Graber press box. It's Nick McCleary who leads it off for the Firebirds. We will also see Travis Honeyman and Nate Furman in this inning of play. So far, these three batters for the Firebirds 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. McCleary, however, he is the one of the three who's gotten on base as he takes a first pitch ball at 84 miles an hour. The count's 1-0. Got on with a walk and ended up stealing second base. That was back in the third inning. Got on to lead off the inning. Other than that, Orleans has been 0 for 3 from the leadoff spot here tonight. So Harwich doing a good job limiting what Orleans has been able to do to open up an inning. But even still, it hasn't felt smooth from the pitchers despite allowing just the 1 run through 4. As the 1-1 pitch is fouled off 93 miles an hour out of the hand of Jaden Woods. And so it's now a 1-2 count.
And I think it feels that way because we've already seen 4 walks, and we saw just 2 all game in the win against Katuitt. So it seems like there's been a lot longer at-bats with the exception of that first inning. And credit to Orleans. They're really extending at-bats, and they're doing a great job up at the plate getting on. And that's why they have a 1-0 lead here.
And this is a Harwich team who's issued 3 of those 4 walks so far on the game. That has not really been allowing all too many walks to this point in the season as the 1-2 pitch misses up high, 79 miles an hour. They've thrown so far 32 walks on the season. That is the fewest across the Cape Cod Baseball League. As a staff, here's the 2-2. That's going to be chopped off foul at 93 miles an hour. That was in the upper portion of the strike zone. Good defense from McCleary, fights it off. And the count here still 2-2. Woods holds the glove about head height. Stares in. McCleary digs back in now. Woods rocks and delivers. Off speed, curveball, tried to rainbow it into the strike zone, 80 miles an hour. Didn't find it, and now the count's run full. Another busy at-bat here for Orleans as they continue to make this Harwich pitching work. The 3-2. Again fought off here by the batter in McCleary, and so Orleans doing a very nice job of wearing down Harwich pitching here. We'll do the full count pitch once again. On deck, waiting his turn, ever so patient, is Travis Honeyman. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts so far. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be tattooed out to right field. Seidel underneath it. He'll make the catch, and there's one away after a long at-bat to open up this top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, great job by McCleary there, working the pitcher. He's actually started to pick up his game. His first hit came in his last game. He went 1 for 4, and then he gets on here with a walk and then puts together a quality at-bat against Woods, who's fresh into the ballgame. Although he flies out to right, not a bad at-bat. You'll take it if you're the head coach, Kelly Nicholson.
And so it is Travis Honeyman. As mentioned, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts so far here today for Orleans as he'll dig in now. Woods rocks and delivers the first pitch to Honeyman, and that's going to be in for a called strike. Couple of other games going on across the Cape Cod Baseball League on what is a beautiful Saturday evening. Katuitt and YD tied at 2-2 over in Lowell Park. As the 0-1 is going to miss high, it's now 1-1. Hyannis leads Bourne. That is in the bottom of the 2nd inning at Doran Park. That's a 1-0 game. Wareham leading the Falmouth Commodores 1-0. As a big swing and a miss from Travis Honeyman has him behind 1-2. That game's in the bottom of the 3rd at Arnie Allen Diamond. And then over at Veterans Field, that game not slated to get started for about another 15 minutes. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Chatham Anglers. The 1-2 pitch, that's going to be chopped off foul, and the count stays at 1-2 here to the batter and Travis Honeyman.
He's just a pitch away from his 3rd strikeout of the game, but aside from that, he's really been a legit ball magnet. Hit by a pitch in 4 of the last 5 games. So he's really been paying the price to reach first base.
Here's the 1-2. Chopped on the ground. That'll head back toward the grandstand here along the 3rd base side. And the count stays at 1-2. And then, as mentioned earlier, double headers across the board tomorrow across the Cape Cod Baseball League. Harwich will visit Wareham. Orleans will host Katuitt. Falmouth will go to ID, Bourne to Brewster, and Chatham to Hyannis. This ball is going to be popped up out to right field again. Seidel once again. Underneath it, makes a catch. Now 2 away. 2 flyouts over to Tommy Seidel in right field.
And it's got to feel great to keep Travis Honeyman in check out of the leadoff spot. He's now 0 for 3. Actually, the entire top of the order is a combined 0 for 7. So you really want to keep your pedal to the metal on that top 3 hitters.
And it hasn't been a whole lot of grand contact. 3 strikeouts, and then they've gotten underneath every other out so far. 4 flyouts otherwise. As Nate Furman stands in now, a strikeout and a flyout to his name. Woods kicks and delivers. The very first pitch misses low and inside at 86 miles an hour, and the count opens at 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss down low, gets away from Levins, and it's now 2-0. Harwich trying to get back on track at home. 3-3 so far on the season when playing here at the confines of White House Field. As the 2-0 comes in, that'll be in for a called strike, just catches the inside portion of the plate, and it's now going to be 2-1. Last game here at home, that 5-3 loss to Wareham back on Wednesday just before the off day. We'll see them again tomorrow. Here's the 2-1. That'll be chopped foul out of play. Over toward the berm along the third base side, heads up, as perhaps a fan made a play on that one. I'm sure a child was there to try to pick up the foul ball after the fact, whether or not it was caught. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming from Woods, as the batter in Furman stands back in once again, and Woods delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the second strikeout for Jaden Woods, and down goes Furman. Second time that he's struck out swinging. We'll be back on the other side of the break with the Harwich Mariners bats. It'll be Lavari, Geloff, and Groover when we return. In the meantime, you're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you. Kenny Lavari also along with you as he stands in the lefty batter's box. Lavari, the third baseman out of Old Dominion, so far 1 for 1 on the night. Ended up being part of a 5-4-3 double play relay to end the second inning. Lavari calls for time before the first pitch is even thrown. Trying to appeal to Hinojosa. Has a brief conversation with both him and Bennett Lee behind home plate. Exchanging pleasantries, no doubt. The first pitch into Lavari misses down low, and the count opens at 1-0 at 83 miles an hour. Harwich so far just the 2 hits on the night. Same for Orleans, as the 1-0 pitch is hit foul out of play. Lavari pushes it over toward the third base side, and the count moves to 1-1. We've seen this plenty from Harwich this season, where they have struggled to record hits. You thought perhaps the last 2 games were indicative of a change in energy, as the 1-1 is fouled off, and it's now 1-2. But it's been a struggle here today. Just the 2 hits, as mentioned, through 4 complete.
Kenny Lavari has had success against the Orleans Firebirds, though. He's 3 for 4 in his 4 total at-bats over the course of the series.
As the very next pitch misses, it's a 2-2 count now. Fewest hits Harwich has had in the game, just 1. And they got 1 hit in game 2 of the doubleheader against Hyannis. Here's the 2-2. Hit right back over toward Humphrey. He will field it on a hop and flips it over to first. A nice defensive play from Humphrey as he's able to help record the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that was really impressive. He had to reach all the way across his body, and considering his right-handed throwing, he really had to get that glove up there to snare it down. Might have been an infield hit had he not made that play, so great job by Humphrey to get out number 1.
And we've seen that too before, where a pitcher will perhaps try to field it and really only make things worse. Saw that happen yesterday in Katuitt, as that ball is going to fly in there. It's now 1-0, ends up missing to Jake Geloff. I believe it was on Cole Harding's hit, the first hit of the ball game in the top of the 3rd inning, that it was hit right back at Cade Morris, as Jake Geloff pops this one up right side underneath it. The second baseman in Nate Furman, he will make the catch effortlessly, and there will now be 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
The left fielder from
Yeah,
NC
starting to feel
State,
bad for
number
Jake.
7,
I mean,
Gino
he just can't
Groover.
buy one, it seems like. He gets just under that one. He had a strikeout looking back in the 2nd inning, just having a really tough go of it. Not a hit for him since June 17th. That's been over a week ago in his debut, in which he went 1 for 4.
Humphrey rocks and delivers the first pitch to the batter, and Gino Groover, and that's going to be in for a called strike at 83 miles an hour. Groover watches it cross over a home plate. Hit into that 5-4-3 double play to end the 2nd. This time hits it right over to the 3rd baseman in Beard. No need for the relay to 2nd, and it's right on to 1st. That ends the inning. 1, 2, 3, down go the Mariners. We head now to the top of the 6th inning. It's going to be Keishel, Sim, and Bulger when we return. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back inside White House Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dopick along with you. Luke Keishel leads it off 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to the outfield to this point in the ball game. Back on the mound, it's Jaden Woods. This his 2nd full inning of work. Came in relief of Jonathan Santucci, who pitched 3 1/3, only gave up the 1 hit and the 1 run. But that is the difference right now. It's an 0-1 count to Luke Keishel to open up the inning. Next pitch in there for yet another called strike, and it's 0-2. That one flying in at 91 miles an hour. Also in this inning, up to bat, will be Kevin Sim and Jack Bulger. This portion of the lineup, 0 for 5 so far for the Firebirds. Does have a walk and a run in Bulger. This ball's going to be rocketed out to center field. Harding underneath it, back toward the warning track, makes the catch. And there's a loud first out here in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, he's now flied out 3 consecutive at-bats, to center twice and to right once. And a guy who usually is a very prolific hitter, he just had an 8-game hit streak ended, and he went 0 for 3 against Bourne with a strikeout.
So he's trying to get off the snide, but not having any luck so far, as Kevin Sim stands in now, 0 for 2, does have a strikeout, struck out looking. He was the 3rd strikeout victim of Jonathan Santucci, who went out to strike out 4 on the evening. Here's the 0-1. That's going to miss high, and the count evens out at 1-1.
Yeah, 0 for 7 against the Mariners in these series, so he'd really like to find a way to get to first base. Hates playing against the Harwich staff.
As the 1-1 flies into the zone at 91 miles an hour, it's a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Off speed, misses outside at 80, and it's 2-2. Woods stares in, holds the glove about head height, nods. Time's going to be called here by Levens, as they are going to want to go over the signs once again here very briefly. Still the 2-2 count. Woods, the pitch. Did not get it. Looked good, but did not find the zone, so the count runs full. 3-2, 87 miles an hour that last one missed at. Looked like perhaps a bit low. Here's the 3-2 pitch. This is popped up right side. Levens charging back toward the fence, and he will hold up as he realizes he has no chance at that one. And the count remains at 3-2.
Yeah, Sim he's a .422 on-base percentage on the season. .235 average, but nothing doing against Harwich. He's got a chance here.
3-2 pitch, and that's going to miss low. Ball 4. So on to first for the first time tonight. Kevin Sim manages to make his way on base.
Now batting.
Yeah, and I bet that feels good. Got the monkey off his back, and now his team's in business. They are not comfortable with this 1-run lead, and now a chance to add to it.
So it's going to be Jack Bulger up to bat, 0 for 1. Did get on with a walk back in the 4th inning, and he was that run to come across. That's the difference right now, as mentioned. It was driven in on a 6-3 putout. Hit on the ground by Isaac Humphrey. As the first pitch, in for a strike, 79 miles an hour. It's 0-1. Woods stares over toward first base. Now checks back at home and delivers. The 0-1 misses low. Levens pounces on it. Ready to make a check down to second or first, perhaps, should he feel it necessary. And it's now a 1-1 count. Woods again staring over at first. Here's the pitch. That'll skip in the dirt before home. Levens very quick once again to get on top of it. That's back-to-back pitches that Tatum Levens has had to have been extra defensive on. It's 2-1.
Yeah, huge play there. You do not want that ball to allow Sim to advance. He's not afraid to run. He has been caught twice, but he's not afraid.
Here's the pitch. Sliced off foul. It's 2-2 now here to the batter and Jack Bulger.
There's 4 hits in the entire ball game. Really just not much going on either side on offense. It was the bottom of the first where Harwich stranded 2, and the top of the second where Orleans stranded 2, but since then, really not much doing.
Yeah, Harwich, as this one's going to be hit out over toward right. That's going to get down right over the second baseman in David Smith, and it's a 1-out single for Jack Bulger. So after Luke Keishel was retired on a fly out to center field, Kevin Sim was able to get on with a walk, and then Jack Bulger follows it up with a single. So now 2 on here for the Firebirds, and the Mariners in a bit of a bind here. 1 away, runner in scoring position, and Bennett Lee, who is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, steps in now. Lee, the catcher. On deck, Isaac Humphrey. Here's the pitch. Chopped off foul, and it's 0-1 at 92 miles an hour.
And he's a guy who loves playing against Harwich. Just a .211 hitter on the season. but he homered against them, his only one in his last game. Now he's got a single and also walked against them. Really tough out for them.
Yeah, he's been impressive against these Mariners as the 0-1 comes in. It's going to miss down low again. Levens has to come out from behind home plate to pick it up in front of the plate, and it's now 1-1. Runner on second is Sim. Runner on first is Bulger. Woods stares back. And here's the pitch. Runners go. Throw down to third. Safe. So says Frank Auditor. And now there are two in scoring position as Kevin Sim is able to make his way down to third, and Jack Bulger behind the scenes is able to take second base.
Great jump by Sim. And now the double play out of effect for Harwich. Huge shift there. Now you got to find a way if you're Jaden Woods to get out without the ball going very far.
And this is the question here for Orleans. Can you finally break through having runners in scoring position with only one away? As on the season, they're batting just .124 when they have runners in scoring position. That's across 89 at-bats. And so it has not been all too impressive for Orleans when they have runners in scoring position. This one's going to be hit out toward right center field. Both Seidel and Harding going back, and that's going to get down in the gap. In from third is Sim. Waving along Bulger as now sliding into third safely with a triple. A 1-out, 2 RBI triple for Bennett Lee. That is his third extra base hit of the season, and he has been hitting for power when he has been hitting it.
Yeah, and the Mariners decided they were going to play this one shallow. They brought the infield in. The outfielders were definitely playing shallow considering how Bennett Lee has swung the bat against them. He takes full advantage, hits one right in the gap, almost perfectly between center and right fielders out there. Gets down very speedy base runner. He got there, not even a close play at all.
And so this is the first triple that this Harwich Mariners pitching staff has allowed all season long. And Jack Bulger, that's the second time that he's come across a score in the ball game. As Orleans immediately threatening once again after Bennett Lee was able to push Sim and Bulger home. He now stands 90 feet away himself. It's an 0-2 count here to Isaac Humphrey with one away. The 0-2 misses down low, kicks away from Levens, who has to come out to field it. Throw goes back to Woods, and it's a 1-2 count. Woods holds the glove about waist height and delivers. Cracked on the ground. That'll head over toward the first base coach for Orleans. Bobbles it on the play. He'll flip it back over to the dugout. It's a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. That'll miss outside, and it's now 2-2. Woods has had a lot of trouble putting guys away. He's managing to get 2 strikes against them, but we've only seen the 2 strikeouts, and neither of which have come in this inning. Here's the 2-2. That'll be pushed over down the left field line, and that'll be caught by what looks to be Joe Savino, standing over there, hoping to protect Garrett Harker, who is warming up out of the University of Cincinnati. So we may very well see him here tonight. It's just a matter of when. And this one again going to be hit foul out of play. And the count here remains at 2-2. 92 miles an hour. Jaden Woods was able to fling that one across. Humphrey on the night, 1 for 2. He had the initial RBI to drive home Jack Bulger. Bennett Lee has now joined him in the RBI club here this evening. This one hit on the ground, right back up the middle. That's going to get past David Smith. And in to score is Bennett Lee. Holding on first is Isaac Humphrey. It's a 1-out single to help bring in a run. An RBI for Humphrey, his second of the night.
Yeah, and Firebirds are really doing a great job situational hitting. The last 2 times they've had runners in scoring position, they've found a way to get hits. 3 straight guys have come in. I think the craziest part for me is that Honeyman, Furman, and Keishel, 3 key guys in the lineup. Furman coming in batting .333, Honeyman batting .380 and leading the league in OPS, and then Keishel, who just lost an 8-game hitting streak. They are combined 0 for 9, and the rest of the order has done all this production.
It's not about who it comes from, it's about when you get it. So with that, Jaden Woods' day is done. Garrett Harker will come into the game. We'll step aside. We will introduce Harker on the other side of the break, and we'll recap the day for Woods as well when we return. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
From Louisville, number 32.
Welcome back inside White House Field. As mentioned, the day is done for Jaden Woods. His line looked like this. He pitched 2 complete innings after coming in relief for Jonathan Santucci. Allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts in the outing as well. To this point, he's allowed 3 runs, each of which have come across in this inning, and he is responsible for Isaac Humphrey, who stands over on first base. And so, the book not fully closed quite yet. Logan Beard is the next batter up for the Firebirds, as Garrett Harker is the new arm on the mound for the Mariners. The 0-1 pitch ends up missing, and the count now here evens out at 1-1. Garrett Harker, so far on the season for the Mariners, as you look at his numbers, made his debut back on the 17th against Bourne. That was his one other appearance so far. The 1-1 pitch is in for a called strike at 80 miles an hour. He struck out 3 batters, didn't walk anybody, and allowed a single hit across his 2 innings pitched. Right now it's a 1-2 count to the batter in Beard. As the runner goes, check swing, throw down to second. Levens able to get it onto the bag, but not in time, a bit high. As able to slide in underneath it was Humphrey. That is the second stolen base of the day for the Firebirds. But going down swinging was Logan Beard. He committed on the check swing, so the Mariners do at least get an out of the stolen base. So now up to bat, Nick McCleary. McCleary so far on the day, 0 for 1. Walked and stole second back in the 3rd, and then flew out to right field back in the 5th inning. Well, a number here that I think is sort of telling, or I think will be interesting to see how it plays out across the rest of this game, as Harker comes home, and his first pitch catches the inside part of the plate, and it's 0-1. The Mariners have not won a game this season when they've allowed their opponent to score more than 2 runs. They are 0-6 when allowing 3 or more runs this season. 5-0 when allowing 0 to 2 runs so far, as that one's going to be fouled back into Levens. He is made to be uncomfortable, as that one ended up deflecting right off of, I believe, his left leg, off the bat of McCleary. And so Harker and the umpire are having a brief conversation just on the grass toward the pitcher's mound. Trainer's going to come out as well to have a look at Levens perhaps in a moment. Going to make sure that Levens is all right here, and he will wave them off. Seems to be all right. Amanda Lusky and Nadia Visco doing their best to make sure that the Harwich Mariners are kept in tip-top shape this season. It's an 0-2 count here to the batter and Nick McCleary.
Yeah, that hurts. Right in the soft spot where there's no padding, of course. Foul tip by McCleary. That'll do the job for sure.
Harker stares back towards second and delivers. Swung on and missed, and that ends the inning. Garrett Harker comes in and strikes out the only two batters he faces to get Harwich out of the inning. 3 runs do come across, however, and it's now 4-0 Orleans as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Mariners with some work ahead of them. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
For your Harwich Mariners, the center fielder from
Welcome back
Cincinnati,
inside
number 10,
White House Field.
Cole
Cole Harding
Harding.
leads it off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners so far have been struggling a bit. This is the conclusion of their second time through the lineup. Meantime, when we come back in the top of the 7th, it will be the 4th time through for the Orleans Firebirds. They have been busy at the plate. 5 hits, 4 runs. A slew of walks to this point in the ball game as well, as the count is 1-1 here to Cole Harding.
Yeah, Harwich just needs a way to find a way to step up. I mean, they've just not really had much offense. They've had 12 straight batters, 13 straight retired, rather, and it's just been one of those nights.
As it's a 1-2 count now to Cole Harding. Harding on the night, 0 for 1. Grounded out to second in his last at-bat. As it's now 2-2. This is outside. Harding, he's had a couple of nice games recently. As 2-2 misses inside, count runs full. Had a 2-hit game yesterday against Katuitt. Was a big part of helping to drive around Matt Gassetti. Got him up to second base before Nick Goodwin was able to drive him home. 3-2 pitch is going to be pulled foul down the third base line, and count remains at 3-2.
Yeah, he has been very clutch. He's got to continue up that streak of situational baseball. Definitely one of the more situational, prolific hitters on the ball club.
As the 3-2 comes in, hit on the ground, left side. That'll be picked up by Beard. Throw on to first is going to pull Sim off the bag. Harding is safe at first base, and it looks like the throw ended up getting out of play, and so Cole Harding is going to be given second base. That's going to be an error on the shortstop, or pardon, third baseman, my mistake, in Logan Beard, who fielded that one, obviously. And so Cole Harding up to second base, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered here if you're Harwich.
Yeah, a bit of a gift there, but they'll take it. They haven't had much going in the offense department, so the fact that you can get a runner down to second off one of their errors, now you got to find a way to capitalize, which is what they were able to do against Katuitt. They got another opportunity here, but in a much deeper hole.
So it's back to the top of the order. David Smith, who's making his Cape Cod Baseball League debut here tonight. 0 for 2 so far on the evening. A liner over to short to open up the home half of the first inning, and then grounded out to first base back in the third inning. Takes a first pitch called strike. The 0-1 comes in. That'll be fouled off by Smith, and the count now 0-2. Smith played over at UConn this past season. Was his second season with UConn, a transfer out of LaSalle before going over to UConn for 2 seasons. Batted .307 with the Huskies, on base percentage right about .405. As Humphrey delivers, that'll miss outside, it's 0-2. Humphrey's done a really nice job since coming in. The one batter to get on against him, Cole Harding, who reached on an error. So really, not been all too much to complain about from Tommy Humphrey, who was able to retire the first 12 he faced. Or pardon, the first 9, excuse me. As that's going to miss outside. It's now 3-2 here. Humphrey has not, or rather 2-2, excuse me. Humphrey has not issued a walk so far. He's struck out 1. And he will step off here as Smith awaits the next pitch. Humphrey steers back towards second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, 82 miles an hour, nowhere near home plate, but down goes Smith. An excellent pitch to get him to bite, and there's one away.
Bet he wants that one back. Kind of tailed off. Maybe a bit of a two-seam kind of movement there from Humphrey, although he didn't hawk it with his full velocity. Nonetheless, Smith is fooled, and that'll do it. Out number 1.
Tommy Seidel stands in now, the righty out of Alabama. 1 for 2 on the evening. Singled in his first at-bat back in the first inning and extended his season-long on-base streak up to 10 games. And lined out to left field in his second at-bat. That was back in the 3rd inning, and now here he is back up again in the 6th. It's a 1-0 count to him here from Humphrey. Standing back on second still, Cole Harding got on there with an error committed by Logan Beard over at 3rd. Here's the 1-0. Seidel will watch that one skip in the dirt down low, and it's 2-0 now. Harwich trying to make Humphrey work a bit more here this inning than he has in innings prior. Right now, Humphrey up to 41 pitches. It's a 2-0 count to Seidel, as he will step onto the rubber. Stares back over at second base and delivers. That's going to miss inside, and the count now 3-0. A nice take from Seidel to stay well ahead in the count.
You just got to be patient here. Nick Goodwin on deck. He's been, next to Cole Harding, one of the best situational hitters when they've needed it. So you just got to find a way to pass the baton to him and get yourself on base if you're Tommy Seidel.
Here's the 3-0. That misses inside. It's a 4-pitch walk to Tommy Seidel, who manages to get onto base for the 2nd time today. And fans in attendance very excited for Seidel in his efforts to make it down to first. So Tommy Humphrey, again, this is his 4th inning of work. He's done a nice job to this point. It's been a bit more busy here for him in this 6th inning, as Nick Goodwin now in the 3 spot comes up to bat. And I think it's moments like this, the exact reason why Coach Englert has opted to put Nick Goodwin in the 3 hole. You have guys who are able to get on ahead of him, and Tommy Seidel and Cole Harding, and now Nick Goodwin, who's been one of the better bats in this Harwich Mariners lineup, leading the team at 282, steps in. 11 for 39 on the season, does have a total of 8 RBI, 5 runs as well. 11 strikeouts as well on the season. As Humphrey will step back on, there is a pitcher warming for the Firebirds. Looks to be a lefty out in the bullpen. As Humphrey, the righty, stares in. That's good for a first pitch strike to Nick Goodwin, and the count opens at 0-1.
Nick 0 for 2 on the day. He flied out to center and popped out to first base. Got a chance to alleviate all that with one swing here.
Here's the 0-1 from Humphrey. And that brushes Goodwin back off the plate right about the waist. Has to do a hop back. And it's now 1-1. And it looks like warming over in the Orleans bullpen is going to be number 15, Josh Allen, out of Buffalo, New York. No, Duke University. The 1-1 is swung on and missed down low, and so it's now a 1-2 count.
I don't take to that joke too kindly. Not a huge Josh Allen fan.
I mean, it's right there. I'm not saying that I am.
Fair enough.
It's a 1-2 count to the batter and Nick Goodwin. I mean, I'm sure he could really throw it were that the case. A 1-2. That's going to be pulled foul. Not by much, but foul down the left field line. Would not be the first time that there has been a ball player in the Cape Cod Baseball League that has also played football. Of course, Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, a former Harwich Mariner, made the trip down to White House Field in the summer of 2017. Played for Harwich. Of course, ended up going with football, but was drafted in the first round by the Oakland Athletics. This ball is going to be laced into center field. That's going to get down. Cole Harding in from second. Running over to third. Sliding in is Tommy Seidel. That'll be backed up by the defender for the Firebirds in Humphrey. And up to second base is going to be Nick Goodwin. And exactly what we were talking about. You put Nick Goodwin in a spot to produce with runners on base, and you have a feeling that perhaps more likely than not, in some way or another, he's going to produce for you.
Yeah, and so clutch. A nice piece of hitting by Goodwin, lacing that in the center. But a lot of credit's got to go to Tommy Seidel. He made a judgment play. Honeyman was slow getting to the ball. He rounded second and went into third, which allowed both runners to move up 90 feet. Now they're both in scoring position, and no force play as opposed to first and second with one away and the double play on the table. Nice job by Tommy Seidel.
As Brock Wilkin steps in, he represents the tying run. 0-1 to him to open it up as he fouls off an 81-mile-an-hour pitch. So mark it down as a single for Nick Goodwin, as he was then able to advance over to second. Seidel now stands on third. Here's the 0-1 count to Wilkin as Humphrey still working. We'll see how short the leash is here in a moment, perhaps, as the 0-1's going to be fouled off. It's now 0-2. You wonder perhaps about the decision to leave Humphrey in instead of going to the bullpen where you have a lefty, a brand new pitcher, when clearly Humphrey has been struggling here in this inning. Initially not his fault, as Harding was supposed to be retired anyway, as he ended up coming across. But what's happened has happened, and the inning has not gotten any easier for Tommy Humphrey. It's an 0-2 pitch. Wilkin's going to sky this one out toward shallow center field. That's going to be caught by the right fielder, and Isaac Humphrey sliding in. He's going to have to do some laundry later to get the grass stains out, but what a power slide from Humphrey to make that grab, and doubly impressive. He's able to keep the runners pinned at their bags.
Yeah, it was a great play. Tommy Seidel not sure where to go. I think he should have tagged all the way. Of course, hindsight 20/20, but based on how much trouble that ball was looking like and the way the play was developing, he probably had a good shot, even with the catch, to score. I mean, it was a sliding catch. Happens, though, and nonetheless, they are stranded at second and third.
And so that's going to be the day for the pitcher and Tommy Humphrey. We will have a pitching change coming up here at White House Field. We'll be back to break it all down on the other side. In the meantime, don't go too far. You are listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Tatum Levens, the catcher out of Pitt, brings us out of the pitching change. The day is over for Tommy Humphrey. He pitched 3 2/3, allowed a single hit. It was a single. Back to Nick Goodwin. Did walk a batter and struck out 2. So the new arm on the mound is Josh Allen, as mentioned, out of Duke. The left-handed pitcher, as this one's going to skip in the dirt. Native of Oviedo, Florida. He's appeared in 2 games to this point in the season, pitched 6 1/3 innings. He's allowed 9 hits, 5 earned runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 4. Does have a 1-0 record, but it goes along with his ERA of 7.1. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Tatum Levens. That's popped up foul. Bennett Lee thinks he has a chance at it, and that's going to land out of play, and so nothing will come of it. It's a 1-1 count now here. Harwich, it's been interesting this season when you look at Harwich and the way that they have batted lefties against righties. Generally, teams fare better batting against right-handed pitching than they do lefties, but it's actually the inverse right now for the Mariners, as it's a 1-1 count. Allen comes home. That it's going to miss outside, and it's now 2-1. Harwich on the season batting 196 against righties, 224 against lefties. You look at slugging as well, 280 against righties, 395 against lefties. Something about it, it's just been more advantageous for these Mariners. Levens, however, he's been an exception here. 0 for 5 against left-handed pitching so far. You have that lefty-on-lefty matchup. As it's a 3-1 count here, Allen struggling to find the strike zone in his first batter faced.
Levens is 0 for his last 9. He's got a chance to break that here.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be pushed out towards center field. Going back is Honeyman. He will settle underneath it and make the catch. The inning ends. The Mariners do get one across in Cole Harding, but it is still a 3-run lead for the Orleans Firebirds. 4-1 the score. We head to the top of the 7th in just a moment. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside the broadcast. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. A 4-1 lead for the Orleans Firebirds. For play-by-play duties for the remaining 3 innings of play, my broadcast partner, Devin Dobick. Devin.
Thank you, Tim. And it's going to be the top of the order, 4th time around for the Orleans Firebirds. Travis Honeyman. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Very uncommon for him. He's got a chance to snap that against the Cincinnati Bearcat and Garrett Harker.
Yeah, and Harker looked good in his first inning of play, his first 2/3 pitched, I suppose you could say. 2 strikeouts.
As he misses up high with that one once again, and now Honeyman in a hitter's count. It's 2-0. Coming in with 13 hits in 34 tries. That's good for a .382 batting average. And he lines this one down the left field line. Fair ball. That'll be a base hit. Rounding first and going into second standing is Travis Honeyman with a leadoff double just like that. Orleans trying to find a way to answer.
Now batting for the
Yeah,
Firebirds,
so
the
tough
second baseman
to
from
fall
Charlotte,
behind
number
in the
6,
count
Nate
2-0 if
Furman.
you're Garrett Harker to Honeyman. He's so good when he's ahead in the count like that, and he shows off why. He's able to just tuck that one down the left field line, keep it fair, and heads into second base standing with an easy double.
That's the first time one of the top 3 hitters in the Orleans Firebird lineup has reached. And Nate Furman will climb in. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a fly out to center. Levin's giving out a quick sign for the base runner and Honeyman. And here's the first pitch to Furman. On the inside corner for a strike. Furman didn't like it, and I agree with him. Very 50-50 call there for Hinojosa, but he's been pretty consistent all game. No balls and a strike. And the pitch down in the dirt, and it's evened up at 1. 6 hits for the Firebirds. Honeyman's got 1 of them. He stands on second. An error aside. And the pitch chopped over to second. Smith coming into play, and a fire on to first just to get the runner in time, but Honeyman goes on down to third. So Furman does his job and advances the runner, and there's 1 away.
From the University of San Francisco, number 9, Luke.
Yeah, easy and
Diesel.
efficient if you are Orleans. Just get that ball in play, really any which way, and an easy base for Honeyman to make it down to third.
So Keishel will climb in. He's flied out 3 times. Coming into today, hitting .282 for Orleans with a .350 OBP. Count is 0-1 to him. Apparently he doesn't know how to hit under 300 is usually his MO, but just a few points under that early on in the season. As that one, Levins thought about the snap throw, doesn't end up doing it. Count evened up at 1. This past season, he hit .305 with 8 bombs for San Francisco. 1-1. That one, I don't know if it went behind him or...
I think it did. That's the second time today that a pitch has gone behind a Firebird batter.
Kind of a bizarre sequence there, but nonetheless. In his freshman season, he was WCC All-First Team. He played every game and also was a collegiate baseball freshman All-American. As 2-1 misses downstairs, and it's 3-1 now. Harker got to be careful here. Takes a look over at Honeyman and delivers on the inside corner for a strike. Geisha was halfway to first base. He hated the call. And sometimes you got to think umpires just love when they start walking. It gives them all the more reason to call it a strike if they had any doubt. Payoff. Swung on and missed. Keishel goes down swinging. Garrett Harker picks up his third punch out of the game. A huge one.
Now batting for the
As
Firebirds,
now he's just
the
got to
first baseman
focus
from
on
the
Kevin
University of
Sim.
San Diego, number
Yeah,
28,
he's done a nice
Kevin
job bouncing
Sim.
back after allowing that leadoff double to Travis Honeyman. Got the ground out off of Nate Furman, and then that strikeout there to Keishel. You put it perfectly, Devin. Just needs to worry about the batter here. Yes, there's a man on third, 90 feet away. As the first pitch is in for a called strike. You certainly don't want to do anything errant here. Tatum Levin's excellent defensively behind home. He's not going to let much get away from him, but certainly don't want to make it at all possible for Honeyman to come home. Already down by 3 late in the game here.
Here comes the 0-1. Cut on and miss. Big swing from Kevin Sim. On the day, he struck out looking, grounded out to third, and was walked. He also stole a base and scored the second run of the ball game en route to 3 straight men scoring for the Firebirds. So did his job starting the rally. And that one just misses. A little grunt from Harker there, trying to pull something extra on it. And it's 1-2. Sim a very closed stance. He's got that front foot much more in front than his back foot. And 1-2. Cut on and miss. Down goes Sim for the second time today. And Harker able to escape the jam after giving up a leadoff double. Nice job for him. It's time to stretch here at White House Field. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back on the other side of the break, it'll be the Mariners coming up. Don't go anywhere on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The third baseman from Old Dominion, number 3, Kenny Lavari.
And due up are the only 3 batters that did not come up in the 6th inning. That's Kenny Lavari, Jake Geloff, and Gino Groover trying to get something going. Kenny on the day, he had a single back in the 2nd inning to start that inning, but a double play by Gino Groover negated that. And he's also grounded out to the pitcher. Big swing and a miss on that one, and he's down 0-1 now. It'll be Josh Allen back out there for his 2nd inning of work. He got the job done, went that 3rd inning back in the 6th, and he's quickly up 0-2 on Lavari.
Yeah, he was able to come in, just quickly retire Levin, so it'll be interesting to see now how he fares over a full inning here.
0-2 pitch. Caught on and sent back towards our writer, Johnny Deppen. He actually had a flinch in there.
2 for flinching.
Yeah, definitely 2 for flinching on Johnny. I've kind of become immune to the ball coming back up here.
You do get used to it.
0-2, big swing from Lavari. He got fooled. That pitch just above the dirt, and he goes down on 4 pitches for out number 1.
Really nice sequence from Allen. Puts him away with the 81 miles an hour outside off the plate. Excellent pitch to be able to get him to bite.
So Jake Geloff will climb in. And yeah, it's been a while since his last hit. 8 days. June 17th against Bourne, in which he had a bloop single. Honestly, could have been caught.
Yeah, it was pushed out to right field.
0-1. He lines this one into left field. That gets down. Jake Geloff breaks the curse on cue. Laces that pitch into left. A huge one. Mariners needed it more than ever. And there's 1 on with 1 out.
Yeah, that's really all you can say. Harwich needed it, and Geloff finally able to break out of it. Was able to get on base, so that's big to be able to get a guy on here. Obviously, every out at this point in the ball game so valuable, and so now with Gino Groover up to bat, a man who in his own right trying to break out of a bit of a slump. 0 for 2 so far on the day is Groover. Comes up to bat. Did have a multi-hit game in his last time out, Groover, however. But at least here today, still held hitless.
Yeah, hasn't done much today, but he does have 4 hits in his last 4 appearances in the game. A ball and no strikes. He's grounded out to third both times, one of them being a double play. Count is evened up at 1 now to Gino. Haven't seen much of Geloff on the base paths, so not sure if we'll see him run or how aggressive Coach Englert wants to be. 1-1 from Allen. Lined into center field. Gino Groover connects on one and almost took off Allen's head. A beautiful piece of hitting. Just how the Mariners drew it up. 2 struggling guys able to break through. And now they got runners on first and second for Cole Harding.
Yeah, I mean, how big is this? You said it, Devin. 2 guys who have been struggling to break through, coming in a moment in which you need them the most. And now Cole Harding, who's been finding some success over the past few games, coming up in a big spot here, representing the tying run with a chance to help move batters around the base paths.
Cole reached on an error and scored the lone Mariner run back in the 6th. He's also grounded out to second. He's got 2 ducks on the pond now. He represents the tying run coming up. So Mariners a swing away from potentially tying this. But they'll take any ball that finds a home in the outfield. First pitch. Harding lifts it out to deep left field. Going back to the track. Keishel at the wall. Pulls it in. The runners will hold up. Harding just a bit under that one. I bet he's a little bummed. So close there. He claps his hands in frustration. So close.
Number 4, David Smith.
And you wonder if maybe he hits that ball back at the beginning of a day when it was a warm day here on Old Cape Cod, that perhaps it would exit the yard. You know, it was really hot earlier here at White House Field, and it's cooled off a little bit, perhaps helping to draw some of the impact back.
David Smith will climb in, switch hitter. First time we'll get to see him from the right side. And that one gets by the catcher and Lee. And both runners are going to move up. You wish you had that just a batter ago, because then that sac fly would have definitely got in a run.
Well, certainly so, but even still, you take it here if you're Harwich, whatever you can get. If you can get some timely hitting across your next few innings here, you'll take it. Doesn't all have to be right now. You have the 8th and the 9th as well. But with runners on 2nd and 3rd right now, you certainly do not want to squander this opportunity.
As the 1-0 is in there for a strike, and Smith has drawn the count even at 1.
Harwich has struggled this season when there are runners in scoring position with 2 outs, batting 162 across their 37 at-bats, just 7 RBI.
1-1. Smith lifts this one out to center field, but right at Travis Honeyman, and it's put away for out number 3. The Mariners threaten, they leave 2 in scoring position. That won't do the job. We'll have to head to the 8th and see what happens. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
50-50 raffle tickets. Bulger.
And we're back. Top of the 8th inning, and it'll be Jack Bulger to get things started for the Firebirds. Call to the bullpen, Cameron Meyer of Tufts University will climb in. This will be Cameron's 2nd appearance. He pitched 4 innings, struck out 5, and walked just 1 while allowing 3 hits. ERA is 2.25 in that span, as counting is evened up at 1. One to Bulger, misses for ball 2, and Bulger on the day is flied out to center, and he's walked in, scored, singled and scored, and he's got a stolen base amidst all that. 2-1 is on the inside corner for a strike. He didn't like the call, but nonetheless, it'll even up the count.
And just to give you a look at Meyer's arsenal: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
2-2. That one chopped up the middle. Smith charging in. He fields it, fires on a first in time. What a play by David Smith, charging in across the body. It had to be a perfect throw, and it was for out number 1.
Haven't seen him get a whole lot of action here in this game, but yes, an impressive out to be able to record nonetheless. That was a slow dribbler, and he was pretty deep back toward the edge of the dirt, right along the grass out in right, and so impressive he's able to run in and get that throw on to Geloff in time.
We'll take a quick look around the league. Yarmouth, Dennis, and Katuitt are in the top of the 9th. YD on top 5-3, so Katuitt about to drop their 2nd straight at home as well. Of course, Orleans on top 4-1 here. Hyannis still on top of Bourne 1-0 over at Doran Park in the top of the 7th. Wareham leads Falmouth 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th at Arnie Allen Diamond. And Brewster trails Chatham 6-1 in the bottom of the 3rd at Veterans Field. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Misses outside. The batter is Bennett Lee, and wow, what a game he's put together here. He's walked, singled, and tripled and scored. So he's 2 for 2, been on base 3 times, and he's got a run as well. As that pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Huge part of that big 6th inning, a 3-run 6th inning at that for the Firebirds.
Yeah, it's really just been this middle part of the lineup that's been doing all of their damage. So impressive to watch, as you'd expect, you know, the Honeymans, Furmans, Keishels to step up and be putting it together.
Grounded over on a couple hops to Goodwin. He fires a strike over to Geloff at first for out number 2.
Especially considering how last night against Bourne, it was really Honeyman and Furman who would push the team along offensively, tried to keep them in the game. But the rest of the lineup was not able to keep up, but now it's sort of the inverse here tonight for Orleans.
Isaac Humphrey will climb in. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles. He's also stolen a base and grounded out to short. He watches strike 1 come in from Meyer, who's looking for a 1-2-3-8. Harwich, don't count him out just yet. No stranger to late inning heroics. The 0-1 on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-2. Meyer way up. He's got a few pitches to waste. We'll see what he decides to come with to Humphrey. Humphrey slaps that one over to the left, but foul. Groover sliding over, and it looked like he tripped. It hit him in the glove. I'm not sure if they're going to rule that fair or foul. It's going to be a foul ball. Yeah, it looked like Orleans was trying to sell it as if it was fair. And he'll have to retreat back to the batter's box. Groover just tripped. He looked like he had a really good shot to make that play, and then at the last second, just blew a tire, and that one in and out of the glove.
Yeah, I could see him wanting to dive after a ball like that as it was coming down, right as he was reaching the point where it was going to land, but certainly not a clean dive by any means. Perhaps it did look like he got a bit tripped up.
Meyer wanted that pitch. He smiles it off. He started to head back towards the dugout. Thought he picked up his first strikeout of the day. 1-2. That one bounced in the dirt. Levins has to stop it, and it'll be evened up at 2. Humphrey trying to make Groover pay for the mistake. He grounds this one off of Meyer, and Goodwin can't pick it. That one caught the right foot of Cameron Meyer, and that will be a hit. Nice job for Isaac Humphrey to put a little salt in the wound. Couple blunders there for Harwich.
32, Logan
Yeah,
Beard.
Goodwin certainly botched it, trying to field it and whip it onto first, but even then was going to be a tough play to make, so certainly a hit for Humphrey as he's able to pull up safely, his 3rd of the day now.
He's really put together a nice game, and now Logan Beard, who's making his debut. He's had a slow start. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch to him. He chops it into foul territory. Geloff and Levins charging in, and it'll fall down in foul territory.
Full pancake from Tatum Levins as he sprawled out for that one. Still probably about 4 or 5 feet short of it, but A1 effort.
So Beard will have another chance here. And other news, Red Sox on top 3-2. Verdugo 3-run home run, take the lead against a Cy Young winner and Shane Bieber. So big one. And Beard had broken his bat, so he's going to come back with a new stick. getting the start at third base tonight for his debut. And trying to add some offense to that campaign. Fouls off another one to the right. And he's now down 0-2. Meyer trying to lessen the damage here. Just the one runner on in Humphrey. He can end it with one pitch. The pitch misses away, and it's 1-2. At Tufts this past season, he went 2-3 with a 5.28 ERA. Started 7 times in 8 appearances and threw 46 innings in which he punched out 64 while just walking 4. Doesn't like to walk people. As 1-2 is once again spoiled. A nice swing by Beard. He stays alive. Good battle we're getting to see here in the late innings. There goes the runner as it's popped up into shallow right field. Seidel coming in right at the foul line. He hauls it in for out number 3. So no runs on the one hit, and they strand one. We head to the bottom of the 8th here in Harwich. Mariners trying to make something happen. We'll be back on the other side of the break of the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Number 34.
Welcome back. Call to the bullpen for the Orleans Firebirds. It'll be Wyatt Longcar coming into the ball game. Native of Pacific Palisades, California. 6'6", 235 pounds, and he's thrown 6 innings for the Firebirds, allowed 10 hits and 6 runs, which are all earned while punching out 7. His ERA is 9, so a guy that Harwich might be able to jump on.
And you got to come out early here if you're Seidel, if you're the Mariners. You cannot allow another pitcher to come in and get settled here for Orleans.
No balls and a strike now to Tommy Seidel. As that breaking ball just misses high. Close pitch there, and it's 1-1.
And so to close the book as well on Allen, as he came in and pitched an inning and a third. Allowed 2 hits, did not allow a run, struck out 1.
As this one in there for strike 2, and now Seidel has got to be careful. He's on the ropes at 1 and 2. His last outing, he surrendered 3 runs in 3 innings against Furman and 5 hits with 3 walks. Seidel cuts on that one and misses. A pitch he wants back. He goes down to start the inning.
Now batting for your Harwich Mariners, the shortstop from Kansas State.
A not ideal start here for Harwich. Obviously, the leadoff man going down. And it's been somewhat of a struggle in the leadoff spot all season for Harwich. Just 167 in the leadoff spot. And so the woes continue here for the Mariners.
First pitch to Goodwin. He grounds that over to third base on a hop to Beard. He fires it high and pulls Sim off the bag, and they're going to rule him out. First base umpire Larry Garcia with a questionable call there. I'm not sure how they figure that, but nonetheless, it'll be out number 2.
I think while clearly Sim had been off the bag, I think what had happened was he had the presence of mind to spin to his right and apply the tag a half second, just a half step before Nick Goodwin was able to step on to first. That's the only thing I can think of in regards to how that out may have been made. And so there's 2 away here. Tough call for the Mariners.
So Brock Wilkin will climb in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Trying to start a 2-out rally here. Mariners trailing by 3 and running out of time to make that up. As Brock lifts this one out to Honeyman in center field, he'll have to charge in, but he's there to make the play. A very quick 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. We head to the bottom of the, the 9th inning. Mariners trailing by 3 and coming back out on defense. Cameron Meyer back to the hill. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The shortstop from Arizona, number 36.
9th inning, Nick McCleary set to lead it off. The 3rd time he has done so for the Firebirds in the ball game. And his 4th plate appearance, he is 0 for 2, flied out to right, struck out, and also walked. Watches strike 1 in there from Meyer. Meyer with a pretty good 8th inning, allowed just the 1 hit, and could have been avoided. Faced just 4 batters and got out of it. As McCleary foul tips that one into Levin's glove for strike 2.
And Meyer Looked good back in his first inning of work. Trying to have another lockdown inning here. Needs it if Harwich wants to have a chance in the bottom of the ninth.
0-2. Fouled over to the backstop, and Meyer still in control at 0-2. Big breath from McCleary, and wasting no time with the pitch. Here's Meyer. He punched him out. Levens applies the tag. They'll throw it around. It'll be the first strikeout of the outing for Cam Meyer.
Number 12, Travis Honeyman.
Really nice job done by Meyer, jumping right back in where he started off in that 8th inning. This is his first strikeout, but even still, he made quick work of the Firebirds in his first time around back in the 8th.
So Honeyman will climb in. Always in no rush to get into that box. He's got a little toe tap routine and then draws in the dirt. But, yeah, whatever works. First pitch to him, in there for a strike at 76 from Meyer.
And then I don't believe we ever did close the book on Garrett Harker. Pitched an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 hit. Did not allow any runs, but 4 strikeouts from Harker.
As Honeyman laces this one into the gap in right center field. Seidel able to cut it off, and here comes the throw into second. It's on target. They got him. Honeyman was not expecting Seidel to cut down the ball before it got to the wall. His second assist in the last 2 games. He's been incredible out there and right. What a play by Tommy Seidel to get rid of Honeyman. So he's held to a single and then a 9-6 putout.
Yeah, just unbelievable what we've been able to see from Tommy Seidel this season, really, for the Mariners. The 2 assists, obviously exceptional highlights for him, but even still, he's just been a very solid rock out in right field, and what speed and awareness to be able to cut off that ball as he's running back to the fence in the alley, and then have the awareness to throw to second.
This one on a few bounces over to Smith. He fires on to first. And it's a makeshift 1-2-3 for Cameron Meyer. Not bad in his second outing. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Mariners looking for a little magic. We'll be back on the other side of the break on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Call to the
Leading off
bullpen.
the
The
bottom of
day
the
is
ninth for your
over
Harwich
for
Mariners,
Wyatt
lead
Lonkar.
catcher,
He goes
from
one
pick,
inning
number
and
2,
gets a punch
Tatum
out. No hits,
Levens.
no runs, no walks. So not a bad time for him to do that. And coming in to pitch is Chris Clark of Harvard. 6'4", 200 pounds from Wayne, Pennsylvania. He actually pitched against the Mariners just a few nights ago. He went an inning and didn't allow a hit or a run. He was credited with the save with 2 strikeouts.
So he's coming in another save situation here. Chance for 2 now.
Against the same squad at that. Tatum Levens fouls off the second pitch to even up the count at 1. 5 hits for the Mariners. They've got 1 run to show for it. And 7 for the Firebirds. They have 4 to show for it. 1-1. That one, Hinojosa thought about it, but it'll be a ball. 2-1 just below the knees of Levens. 2 balls and a strike. And Clark, this one lined into left field by Levens. He gets his 3rd hit of the season. Lifts it over the head of Nick McCleary.
Now batting for your Harwich
Nice
Mariners,
piece of hitting.
the
6th of
third
the ball
baseman
game for the
from Old
M's.
Dominion, number
And
3,
they are in
Kenny
business here in the 9th.
Lavari.
Yep, you need every single at-bat you can get here to be a quality at-bat, contribute in some way, shape, or form. And for Levens, that's just what you need to do as the leadoff man. Get on base and pass it off to Kenny Lavari.
Kenny on the day is 1 for 3. He's also grounded out and struck out. First pitch, breaking ball catches the outside black at 77 for a strike. Still a little bit of light out here. It's kind of crazy to think about because of the 5:30 start time. It's 8:15 Eastern. 0-1. Lavari, not so great swing at that one on the outer part of the plate, and it's 0-2. He's been fooled by a few of those outside pitches from righties. They've just tailed off on him, and he's ended up getting fooled. Here comes the 0-2 to Kenny, and he fouls it off just back towards us. And it remains 0-2.
You know, like I said, you need every at-bat to be a quality at-bat. Lavari battling here. And you don't want to go down here. You want to fight off enough pitches until you're finally able to find one that you like.
0-2 again. He chops back, trying to stay alive, doing a good job of that. Came in hitting .263, added a hit today, so his average will go up a few points. His 6th hit of the season. Geloff on deck, trying to build off his 2nd hit of the season. And Lavari, another chopped foul back. And Bat Boy's going to deliver to Hinojosa.
That'll be the 6th pitch of the at-bat, and it's still an 0-2 count.
3 straight fouls from Lavari. He's hanging in there, despite everything that the closer is bringing in Clark. This one bounced in the dirt. No reason for the runner in Levens to head anywhere. You're down 3. You don't need to risk running into an out unless you got a free 90.
No, exactly. Harwich is going to have to string together a lot here that'll eventually push Levens around should they be able to come back in this one.
1-2 to Lavari. Got him on the outside corner. He punches out for the 2nd time today. A beautiful looking pitch at 81 on the outside corner. That was paint.
Number 23, Jake.
Yeah, really nice pitch. Tough as a batter to try to offer on it as it was right outside, but a perfectly placed pitch. And now all 5 Firebird pitchers who have come into this game have been able to record strikeouts.
Geloff singled but was stranded at third back in the 7th, and he sees the first pitch and flips it over to second. Furman heading out there, and he'll pull it in for out number 2. Mariners down to their last life here in the 9th. It'll be Gino Groover the third out of NC State to try and extend the rally. They need a lot more than him, as Joe Vitrano is actually going to pinch hit for Groover.
Number 30 from Boston College, Joe Vitrano.
And I think this is a good move here. A guy in Vitrano who's been hot lately for you. An excellent day yesterday, 3 RBI, including his first big shot out to right center field of the season. You go to him now in a spot where potentially you could get yourself back to within 1, depending on how this at-bat goes. A guy who really has a lot of power and can really make a difference late here.
Yeah, a teammate of Honeyman, as I mentioned earlier. Both at Boston College, and first pitch to him, he fouls back for strike 1. At Boston College, he had 50 RBI with his 13 home runs, so a guy who's got some power and can bring guys around. Great interview you had with him yesterday, Tim. Definitely check that out on the Mariners socials. And here comes the 0-1. There goes Levens. That one heads right back towards us, so Levens not going anywhere. Yeah. And kind of just trying to negate that force out at second in doing so. So if there's a ball hit up the middle, that they won't be able to get Levens. That's why they're making the steal. No one going to cover. He doesn't really mean much. He's got a huge lead over at first. And here comes the 0-2 to Vitrano. And that one fouled maybe off himself as he shakes his hand. 94 on that pitch from Clark. Still 0-2.
Yeah, talked to Vitrano yesterday, as you mentioned, Devin, just about, putting a good at-bat together, being able to put the bat on the ball, and really just having a mentality where every single at-bat you're going to be able to make a difference in the game. And right now, that's exactly what Vitrano needs to put together here, is a difference.
There goes Levens, but Vitrano goes down swinging, and that is the ball game. Orleans holds on to win this one 4-1. A great team win for them. We'll break it all down on the Harwich Mariners post-game show when we come back on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Your Harwich Mariners.
Welcome back. Devin Dobak, Tim Foley here on the Mariners post-game show. They fall 4-1. That box score 7 hits for the Firebirds and an error on their 4 runs. Mariners 1 run on 6 hits and 1 error. A tough one. Santucci unfortunately gets the loss after he gave up the first run of the ballgame. Clark gets the save coming in, and it'll be Hopfy picking up the win in his 3 2/3 of work. He allowed just 1 hit and 1 run while punching out 2 in 14 batters faced. He was definitely the star of the staff for the Firebirds, but Tim, give us some more on this game.
Yeah, another game for Harwich in which it felt like, obviously, the bats fell flat. You know, the 1 run came across after you picked up the win yesterday against Orleans and you had some good hitting, 9 hits and the 4 runs scored. You hoped that'd be, you know, the start of something new where perhaps the page would be turned, but the Mariners fall right back into what they've been doing across their past couple of games here, which is just struggling to score runs. And so now for the Mariners, again, they have not won a game this season in which they've allowed an opponent to score 3 or more runs. Now on the season, 0-5 in that regard. And then they ultimately fall now to 1-4 when scoring 2 or fewer, as they had just the 1 here today. So not entirely sure what else to say except just that the Mariners need to keep their heads up and try to keep on plugging away at bat. We see a lot of gritty at bats, but still not a lot is coming of them. And so frustration continues at the plate. It felt like at times the Mariners let a couple of pitchers off the hook in regards to Cole Stallings to open up the game. Had the 1 walk. There were a couple of counts that were 3-0 counts, 3-1 counts that the Mariners just weren't able to capitalize on when the game was early, and by game's end comes back to bite them as they ultimately fall here 4-1.
Yeah, tough one here in Harwich, and you know, it is with a heavy heart that we will wish the best to Brock Wilkin, Jonathan Santucci, and other Mariners that will be departing the squad to go represent our country with Team USA. So congratulations to them for that opportunity, but we will definitely miss them, especially amidst the skid with the Mariners losing 6 of their last 8. The win against Cotuit was a big one, but they fall again here. They're back at home on Monday against YD. But the crazy thing about the East Division is with the doubleheader in Wareham tomorrow, the Mariners could be tied for first place at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so,
depending on how things go. And what's interesting, too, here for Harwich is that by the end of tomorrow's doubleheader, you only play 20 games against the opposing division. Those are going to be games 8 and 9 against the West. It's really going to be an East-heavy schedule the rest of the way here. So you're going to have to get a feel for these guys who you're facing off against, who otherwise you're now 1-4 against the East so far in the season. And by the time the season ends, that's just not going to cut it if you aren't able to pick up a better clip against your fellow division opponents. So Harwich, they've got a lot to figure out as the time moves along here.
Yeah, once again, a tough one here, but first pitch will be at 4 against Wareham tomorrow, and then they got another one at 6:30. Looking forward to those 2 games. Definitely stay tuned here on the network. But Tim, final thoughts before we close out here.
Let's just hope that the bats show up to Wareham tomorrow, because if not, it's going to be a long doubleheader after Wareham was able to take care of the Mariners last time these 2 teams faced off 5-3 in their first matchup of the season here at White House Field.
Yep, well, that about does it. Once again, the final score, the Firebirds 4 and the Mariners 1. On behalf of all of our media team, my partner Tim Foley and myself, Devin Dobek, thank you for joining us on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network, and always remember to live the dream.